Hello, beautifuls. Today is Rosh Chodesh. So we say Chodesh Tov. Rosh Chodesh means the new month. The same way we say Rosh Hashanah is the head of the year, the Shana. Today is Rosh Hashanah, the head of the new month. The Hebrew calendar is a lunisolar calendar, so we don't run exclusively on the sun like the Gregorian calendar, and we don't run exclusively on the lunar cycle like the Islamic calendar. We have a very cool hybrid calendar, and part of what I think makes it cool is that it is somewhat fixed. Like the Islamic calendar is not fixed, so Ramadan could be in any month of the year. The solar lunar means that Hanukkah always happens in the same season. But it means that if you look outside at the moon, if I hadn't told you it was Rosh Chodesh, you would already know, because you can barely see the moon. It is the smallest crescent at Rosh Chodesh. It is just coming into the new phase. And women are particularly tied to the celebration of Rosh Chodesh. It is meant to be a festival, not exclusively for us, but for us. So what is the new month that we are now starting? It is called Kislev. And as I mentioned, it is Hanukkah time. So now we will start the countdown. But it is not yet. It is on the 25th of the month of Kislev is when we have Hanukkah. Side note, on that 25th, because you're probably thinking 25th, like the 25th of December is Christmas. It's kind of cool though that you'll know it's Christmas time because in every store the music and the decorations, but for Hanukkah you'll know because of the moon. But Christmas was selected as the 25th because of Hanukkah. And when early Christians were creating the holiday of Christmas, they took elements of every holiday around to try to create a hybrid. So like the Yule log, which was from pagan, becomes... Anyway, so 25th, Kislev, Chodesh Tov, may it be a good month for you. That was a lot of back information, but I hope it was worth it. Before I get to my update on this week's Torah portion in our Super International Book Club of the weekly Torah installment. So last week we had Rivka and Yitzchak meet and marry and have challah and candles and be joyous. And just like Abraham, Yitzchak is worried about parenthood, and he and Rivka are infertile for 20 years. If you can personally imagine that struggle, it's hard when you want kids and you don't have them. I mean, you know for yourself, for your friends. Anyway, after 20 years, Rivka is finally pregnant with twins, joyous. She doesn't know that it's twins at first, and she wonders why it's such a turmoil feeling in her stomach. And God says, you're expecting twins, and they're going to fight, just so you know. I want to fast forward on that twin story because I could keep this going for much, much longer. At the end of Yitzchak's life, he plans to give a special prayer to his firstborn son. Now, there has always been, as I mentioned, great tension between the two brothers. And the Torah says, Yitzchak, Isaac, favors his son Esav, and Rivka, Rebecca, favors Yaakov, Jacob. So what do? Let's take it to today. We don't have favorites. But you have your kids you get along with better, right? It's not always the same at every moment. And then the Torah depicts a very relatable and difficult, can't put into words how difficult, struggle of one parent prioritizes one life for one kid versus the other, right? Let's put in today's context. Who's going to college where? How are you going to support that decision? How much say do you, the parent, have in it? How much say does the child themselves have? What if they're not motivated enough to do it? So these struggles of today, which I know, even if you got little humans, okay, the struggle gets bigger as they get bigger, as those major life decisions. But that struggle is not a new struggle. It is a biblical struggle. And the Torah lays it out for us very clearly, all the heartache that comes into that tension of, as a parent, how do we help our child be the best they can be, even if they don't see it in themselves, even if our spouse doesn't see it that way. And that's what Rebecca does. She pulls out everything she can think of to make it happen, to support her son in the way that she knows how and the potential he has to help him unlock his potential. But I mentioned college because what plays out next is similar. He can't stay at home anymore. And because she invested so much in what he would be and in his future, she has to send him out of the home and not see him again. Her effort and love for his future, she has to, in a physical way, sever the bond and send him as far from the nest as possible. Now, without too much spoiler for next week, there's going to be struggle and there's going to be success and there's going to be heartache and there's going to be joy. It's not really a spoiler alert because you know what that is. Again, if you've got bigger ones and you've had to send them out to university and you know the struggle of watching them get big and where they succeed and where they struggle and what that means. And even the little ones, when you send them out for school for the day and you don't get to keep them at home with you anymore, it's hard. And it's part of being a mother, and it always has been, and it always will be, with all the heartache and all the joy. So, Chodesh Tov, happy new month. I hope you are well. Shabbat Shalom.